Okay, so I am so excited about today's video because I am planning on kind of like talking a little bit more like real time. Like obviously this isn't a live or anything, but I wanted to take a moment and talk to you guys about some of the paintings that I've done in Procreate that I didn't necessarily get the chance to film, but do kind of want to show off a little bit, like this one here. And it's also kind of like a little bit of a milestone video, I guess, because recently I hit over 500 subscribers, which is really exciting. And so I just kind of wanted to do a little hi, hello, and check in with everybody that is becoming a part of my art YouTube community. So, with all of that being said, I'm Rory Fluent. Feel free to call me Rory if you're new around here. Hi, hello, how are you? I like to create dope art content and hopefully curate a chill atmosphere. So if that sounds like something you would enjoy, feel free to become a part of this community with me. And if you're not new around here, what is up, my dudes? Let's get into this video. So this is the first little guy that I wanted to kind of take a second and talk about. Just in case I make any marks, I wanted to make a new layer so that way it's not an issue. I just kind of never got around to filming this guy. I made him while I was sitting down watching my partner play a video game, which if you have watched any of my other videos, you know that that is very common for me to do. And I adore the way he turned out. The texture in his antlers here is like one of my favorite things that I've done. I really love it. It's with this brush. Oh, see? That's why I made the layer, because I knew I was gonna do shit like that. This blocky bold brush from the Retro Max pack is one of my favorites for that kind of texture. And then also this smudge grungy sketch brush is like, oh my god, it's so good for creating these weird little textures. Literally, you can just kind of like, let's see if I click on it. Let's do this one. It just kind of like, this one's a bit more opaque, and then this one is probably the one that I have on his antlers, and it's like one of my favorite brushes. It's so much fun. And yeah, I don't know, there was something about like the complicated overlay of the subject matter that I was a huge fan of, and I was experimenting with backgrounds and figuring out how I'm trying to paint them, which is actually a video you guys are going to see very soon regarding like doing landscape practices and stuff, so I am super stoked for that video. But back to this one. This is just one of my favorite paintings I've done, and I don't share a lot of paintings because I tend to do them on Procreate, and I'm trying to focus a little bit more on like sketchbook videos and things like that. So I have been focusing on paintings primarily in Procreate because I feel like I make my best work in Procreate, and I'm still definitely trying to mimic this feel here in my sketchbook, so we're working on it. This is another video that's going to be uploaded here, and I'm currently just really trying to work on with my traditional media, trying to create something like this, because this is the kind of art that I want to make, and this is what I want it to look like. But yeah, there was something about like the simplicity of this guy. Like there's not a ton going on in his fur or anything like that, but you can definitely feel that, oh my god, you can definitely tell that there's like texture here, and you know, a little bit of thought put into how to make this look like fur in his shading. And then like same here with this little noodly guy. I'm trying to create different textures and kind of make him look a bit smoother and a little bit less furry, obviously, because he's like a snaky newt guy, who knows, honestly. And the fuzziness of like deer antlers is also something that I'm kind of trying to create here with that textured brush that I mentioned, and I feel like it all came together pretty well. Then there's like this out of focus background, and I do have, I believe if I can find it, the version of this video, or oh my god, the version of this painting that doesn't have, yeah. So it should have all of its layers. Yeah, you can kind of see, I was shitty about labeling them, but you can kind of see that I kind of built the layers on top of each other, which I've talked about so many times as being one of my favorite things about Procreate. And it's also why I am experimenting a little bit with gouache in like my recent sketchbook, because I feel like I can get this layered effect and look with gouache, and I can't really as much with watercolor, so I'm kind of figuring out how to get the best of both worlds. Another painting that I was very, very, very happy with is this one here of these two little axolotl-y looking newt guys floating around in some dark water and kind of have these like fungal growths kind of growing out of them. I guess they're like not quite fungus. Oh, more like coral. Yeah, that's what I was going for. And I was really experimenting, obviously, per usual, with a ton of texture, and I was really trying to figure out lighting here. I was working on how to create like a glowing effect without just like taking like a smudge on Procreate and then like just using like the Gaussian blur to like blur it. I was trying to kind of figure out how else I could create an effect kind of like that, and I feel like I was, you know, pretty successful. I was also experimenting with color here, trying to use these like soft like peaches that I don't normally use with these purples, and then also obviously like different layers of greens and different tones of greens. So I had a lot of fun trying to figure out a color palette for this particular painting and to really push myself beyond what I normally go for, because these gray like greens, obviously if you've watched any of my videos before, you know that they are like my favorite color ever. I adore them. So trying to pair them with new colors to create new color combos has been a lot of fun and has been a definite challenge for me. I'm wondering, I don't totally remember because it's been a little bit, let's see, like, yeah, I made this painting in January and I'm filming this towards the end of March. But I'm wondering if I probably went through a few sets of colors before I finally landed on this color scheme, because I'm not the best with choosing colors that kind of go together. I did take a class on color theory. I would consider myself pretty well versed in it, but it still can be kind of difficult to to put into practice, I guess. I found the process from start to finish, of creating this just really nice and fun. It wasn't necessarily easy, but the payoff was totally worth it, and I felt really accomplished having created this painting. So I felt like it was something that people would want to see, and I feel like it's a good reflection of my skill, which goes back to why I'm creating this video, which is for any new people that have decided to join me in this art community, whether because of this video or my past videos. My second Funguary video actually went like mini viral, I guess, and it got like 2,000 views, which is crazy, and I gained so many subscribers because of it. So I thought I would do a little check-in, say hello, and show some of you guys paintings that I am personally really proud of that I didn't get the chance to film. So even old subscribers don't actually like have what am I trying to say, like this is new content for them as well. I'm kind of gonna run through this one real fast because this is a piece that I wasn't necessarily that proud of, but I still, you know, like I look at it and I'm like, I kind of like it, but then like I kind of don't. There's something about it that's very simple. The lighting in it maybe is just not as complex as I've been trying to work on, but I had like a good time making it for the most part. I would say that it was frustrating at first, like it was really difficult. Originally I was gonna have like 2 other rays, and the entire composition just kept getting really fucked up, and it wasn't right, and it wasn't turning out the way I wanted it to. So I ended up kind of taking the subject matter and really like honing in on just one ray with these weird little tails, and I definitely think that that was the right decision. But I think I'm disappointed because I wanted there to be 3, and I wanted to be able to make something with multiple subjects and the focus still be intentional and there to be good hierarchy and proper contrast, and I was just having a really hard time creating a painting that complicated. So in the end I ended up just really focusing down to just one ray and this fish and kind of a school of fish going above him, and I do like it, but yeah, I guess it's still, you know, worth it to anyone who's watching to show you guys paintings that maybe I don't like as much, just to show that yeah, sometimes we create art that we don't like, but that doesn't mean that it's not good, and that doesn't mean that it's not worth sharing. I definitely through this painting learned my capabilities, learned some of my weak points, and figured out how to push myself a little bit further, but I tried to push myself too far, and the multiple subject matters just, well, I mean, it's not that there isn't multiple subjects here, it's just there was something about getting those 2 other rays to work within this composition. Like originally this ray was much smaller, and there was just something about that was really throwing me. So I went ahead and decided to narrow my focus down to just the one, and I definitely think that it turned turned out better than it was. And if there's a time lapse of it playing, you can probably see the what I was trying to fiddle with and the composition that I was trying to work within, and compare it to this new one. And feel free to let me know if you guys are paying attention and watching, or even if you're doodling along, if you look up at the screen. Feel free to let me know which one that you like better, or if you do like the way that this turned out. Every time I look at it, I just feel like there's something lacking, especially from like back here. Like, just looking at it, I'm like, I don't know, like compared to those two, something's missing, and I do think it has to do a little bit with the lighting. As a little honorable mention, I made a video regarding this painting, I think kind of a similarly structured one where I was just talking through my Procreate paintings, but I love this guy. The whole idea was working under the theme Bound Together. These are two little baby raccoons, well, I guess three, that were bound together by plastic, and someone is rescuing them from a tree and releasing them from their plastic binding, and this is meant to represent like those plastic that bottles come in. So yeah, I really love this piece. I still really like it, even though it was made probably 6 months before these two that I'm showing you here. Oh my god, where'd they go? These two. This was probably 6 months later, and then I made these two. I made this one after that, and the last two that I'm kind of going to talk about here, just as my little introduction to my art and my style and the things that I have been creating behind the scenes to help make my sketchbooks more and more interesting for you guys. So I would definitely consider this painting here highly experimental for me. I did it before I decided to start trying to do background studies, so it was my first go at kind of like an intricate or more intricate background than I'm used to, and I love the subject. I think that he turned out pretty great, which I would hope so, given that Funguary brought all of you guys here. You know that I love drawing these little sheepy guys, so I would hope that at the very least he turned out okay. But the background, you know, I really love the clouds, and I love the texture going on with the sky. I do it in like water as well. I just think it's a really fun background technique, and I like picked it up from Steven Universe. They use a lot of these vertical, diagonal, horizontal lines to direct movement, and I happen to like the diagonal ones just to give a little bit of contrast. And here specifically, I was kind of trying to create a reference to this large sort of mountainous structure in the background, and so I feel like those diagonal lines play well off of each other, as well as his antlers, and they kind of guide your eye right down to this little sheepy guy. But I do want to try and break out of just doing diagonals and like have a reason for the textures and lines that I'm putting in my backgrounds. So with that being said, yeah, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about with this. It was a struggle similar to the Ray, where it didn't come that easy to me, but I learned a lot, and I was studying, and I was really trying to take, looking at other artwork that I'm inspired by and references of different, like, natural landscapes, and I was smushing that together into a piece to see if I could create something from it, and I did, so I would definitely consider that a success. And the very last one that I'm going to talk to you about today is this guy. I don't know, looking at it, I'm like, whoa, this is pretty cool. So I've been referencing working on my lighting. This is a top-down sort of bird's eye view of some foxes running, and you can see like a little snout there. This is a tail. There's another tip of a tail, a little like fur. And you can see these paw prints, and they're kind of running on like bushy grassland. And I went a little ham with the texture brush that I love. That's okay though. The culprit is definitely, where are my brushes? Jesus. This guy, literally the one I'm on. The smudge grungy sketch. I went totally ham on it, but for the most part, I was really experimenting with how do the people get that beautiful lighting down from the top view, or top-down view of like it looking like light is like speckling through trees and things like that. And so I really set out to accomplish that. I wanted to, and I did. I think that it turned out really good. Like from afar it looks good, up close it looks good. You can see all that lovely texture here and all the different layers that I worked on to get there. Again, shitty with the naming on this particular piece, but I was just like fucking around. I didn't think anything would actually come of it, and then when something did, I was like, god damn it, why didn't I name my layers? So PSA, always name your layers. It makes your life so much easier, please. Like in this one, which I'm making a future video on for landscape studies, so sneak peek, I've mostly got my layers named, and it's just really helpful, especially when combining them. It helps you figure out what the hell you're doing, and adding layers on top of other layers when you're trying to experiment and figure out what to do. It's really helpful to have it all layered so you know what you have turned on and off and what you like and don't like. And because right now, I mean, like, I can't even tell, like, this is my entire shadow layer, so I should have just titled that shower, or oh my god, shadow, but I didn't, and that was my mistake, so please do that. Ooh, I'm panicking because I don't understand why that's there. Who is the culprit? Let's see here. Oh, it's this. Okay, it was probably literally me 2 seconds ago, so it's okay. I'm probably gonna see where I did that in the video and be like, seriously, why? But yeah, so this is a look at a painting that I feel like really was a good show of my progression and skill when it came to lighting and learning Procreate. And my goal is to find a way to take this and be able to create something similar traditionally. Like, maybe I'll always want to create final pieces in Procreate, and that's totally fine. I'm okay with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with digital media, but I love sketchbooks, and I want my sketches to have the same feel as this, and that is my goal. That's my goal for this channel. That's my, I guess, what I'm trying to teach you guys when I'm showing you my journey. You're kind of just like choosing to join me while I learn how to take the skill that I have here digitally, which, mind you, I started digital art like 2 years ago, and I've been sketching and drawing and painting for 10 plus, but there's something about digital and Procreate that really clicked with me, and I want to take this and I want to put it into my traditional art and see what I can do. So if that sounds like something that anyone here watching this video would like to join me on, please think about subscribing, following, doing all of those YouTube-y things. And if you've already decided to go on this journey with me, thank you so much. It means the world, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.